LTN Hour. Let's talk NASCAR with your host, Todd Bailing, co-hosts Brian Schmidt, PJ Noodleman, and producer Dangerous Dan Margetta. Call the show anytime at 414-421-7901. And now, the creator and host of the fastest hour in radio, Todd Bailing.
Nice to have you on the program. We are honored that you're with us, actually. And as we usually are, we're spread out just a little bit. Todd Bailing in Greendale, Wisconsin. Sunny, warm Greendale, Wisconsin. Joined by my three partners, starting with Brian Schmidt up in Utzberg, USA. Hey, man.
Morning. Yes, we go drafting racing today. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? I don't know.
Well, if you like wrecked cars.
And not seeing cars cross the finish line under green, you might see that, right?
Yeah, maybe. That other female voice you may have just noticed is our own PJ Noodleman on the other side of the state over there in Trimpolo.
Hey, yes, about to get drafty with the Cup Series, but I'm also excited because local racing is really starting to come alive, and we'll have those results later in the show.
Isn't that a fact? Speaking of local results, it's the season opener at the Slinger Super Speedway, and our own Dan Margetta will be, I guess, what are you doing today? Are you running a camera or what?
I'm doing all kinds of stuff. You can hear the race cars on the racetrack in the background as practice has started. I like the drafting that goes on in Talladega a lot more than the drafting that went on in Green Bay this week, so hopefully I'll have a decent race there.
Oh, come on. We like offense. We have too many damn defensive picks. And anyway, that's another story completely. It's great of you to join us here as we're getting ready, as Brian mentioned, to go to Talladega. It's on Fox today. Fox 6 Milwaukee, 47 in Madison. Green flag is at 2:20 this afternoon. It's supposed to be a pretty good race. Weather anyway, 80s is the forecast high. However, there is that looming 20% chance of precipitation that we'll have to deal with. Stages are at lap 60 and 120. It is a 188-lap event, 500 miles on that 2.66-mile super-duper speedway. And wait a minute, as we used to say, is this a typo? Zane Smith is on the pole, 182.174, which sounds slow, but remember, it was single car laps, 52.565 seconds to get around that place. And Zane Smith, for the first time, will be starting from the pole position. Now, he has been progressing. Let's face it, he has been progressing. Has he progressed enough to actually win at Talladega? Well, as we have learned from watching Talladega races over the years, nobody can be counted out for this one. So when we make our picks later, for which I'm going to take Kyle Busch again, just give you a sneaking, because he did qualify second. Not that makes a damn difference. You got to be there. You got to survive the wrecks. That's what it's all about at Talladega. And we'll hope that he's around at that time. They did race here already this weekend. The ARCA race was early yesterday. The Outlaw, Lawless Allen, was your winner. Brian, you saw that, at least the ending on that thing, huh?
Yeah, they had a one-lap race for the win. ARCA does. They don't do the green-white checkered thing. And I think they took the green and they went into turn one, and a bunch of cars behind them started spinning and wrecking, and Lawless Allen was just a wee bit ahead of Thad Moffitt and picked up the win that way, I guess. This stuff, I don't know. I mean, it's hard to think that you got to use, cameras and photo tags or photo stamps and all this stuff to try to figure out who wins a race.
And it happened twice yesterday, because in the Xfinity race, Connor Zilic, by the way, I am a believer in Connor Zilic. I was before. Here he goes to Talladega. Dan, was that the first time he raced at Talladega?
I think so. And to be in contention for the win like that in the last lap, he has impressed me as well. I heard he's a pretty good road racer. I knew that. I didn't know how he'd do on the ovals, but after watching him in that Xfinity Series now for a couple of weeks, I think this kid's the real deal.
And yes, I would agree with that. He did get touched and crashed on the last lap, and they had one of those finishes like Brian was describing, timestamps and pictures and photos and opinions. That's what we don't want when we're talking about who wins a race. But under NASCAR's opinion, Austin Hill was the winner. He was declared as 3 cars sat at the start-finish line waiting for NASCAR to make up their mind. Well, boy, that's really... You wonder why there's negative publicity towards racing these days, and that's got something to do with it, I'll guarantee it.
Well, and that just fueled the tinfoil hat wearing folks that think that Childress is in NASCAR's back pocket.
Yeah, well, he is one of the old timers. It doesn't really. I don't think that it played into the decision at all.
No,
I believe that it's hard for me to say because I didn't have all the resources that NASCAR had to make their decision. But old Jeb Burton, to me, looked like he won it. He believes he won it, and yet it doesn't matter what the opinions are. NASCAR's opinion is the only one that matters, and Austin Hill won it yesterday. Cletus McFarland ran in that ARCA race yesterday. He's quite a personality. He's that character whose real name is Garrett Mitchell, not to be confused with the Brewers' oft and now injured center fielder. However, he did a pretty good. He ended up 10th yesterday. I didn't watch the whole race. I watched pieces of it, and I don't know how he ended up 10th, especially since apparently he had some sort of major issue with the car. Yeah. All he did was hang on, right?
He had a valve spring that was like bent, so he was kind of getting her done with not as many cylinders as everybody else had going.
And really, when you're talking Talladega and you get in the draft, apparently you only need 7 cylinders to finish in the top 10, at least in the ARCA series. And that's what happened yesterday. This is always an exciting race. We can agree on that. We've talked about this in the past that the fringe fans will go out of their way to watch because, hey, they're going to wreck some stuff at Talladega today. Yeah, well, they usually do. And there's that fringe fan that likes to watch wreck 'em time, smash 'em up time. And that's pretty much what we're going to get here. And that comes after probably many laps of follow the leader time. Although sometimes follow the leader can be too wide, and that's more exciting. And then they can possibly be 3 wide, and you talk about excitement. That's damn right breathtaking. And then occasionally we have 4 wide, and then it's pretty much hang on to your bootstraps. We're going around. Oh, here comes the wall. And that's how the racing goes at Talladega.
What do you think the percentage is if we get a green flag finish today? Seems like stricter plate race or plate tracks, what do you want to call them now, super speedways, they always seem to end under yellow. It seems like it's been a trend lately.
Less than 20%, I say.
Oh, I was going to go even less than that.
Declared. It's declared. And how many green-white checkers will there be? They can be real good. We got to be around at lap 188. Yeah, but the problem is that on lap 188, everybody's brain just goes right out the window. It's mash, touch, and hope that you don't crash. And that apparently is a good recipe because it's not on FS1 today. This has national implications, and everybody loves to watch it, and it's on the big network on Fox. So that's what we get to see.
So do you think we'll see them just like they did at Daytona, running 3 wide around half throttle for most of the race, and then all hell breaks loose on the end? Or do you think we'll maybe see something more different? Can you do that did it happen at Talladega like it did at Daytona, or is it different because it's a bigger track?
Boy, that's a good one.
I mean, you can, but then I think there's a better likelihood you're going to see the single file thing. Either way, they're going to want to say, well, because that's the strategy to win these races, and that's what they have to do.
I think you're going to see more aggressiveness because there are way younger guys now in the Cup Series that don't have any fear.
They haven't crashed hard yet, and maybe they need to do that.
And maybe it could happen today.
It very much could. We're very happy that you're joining us today for our Talladega race. We had some deaths in the family of racing, which we'll talk about after we come back from our first break. And stand by, we'll be back.
Be at the Fair Park in Plymouth this Saturday night for an action-packed night of racing. Qualifying at 4:30 with racing to follow. This week features the Super 6 late models making their first appearance of the season. The Wing Plymouth Dirt Track Racing MSA Sprint Cars being joined by the B-Mods and Grand Nationals. Great food in the covered grandstand for added comfort. That's Saturday night at the Fair Park in Plymouth. Mark your calendar for May 17th for the IRA Sprint Cars. We'll see you there.
As a growing manufacturing company, we needed security solutions. We chose Bonafide because of the services they offer, pricing, and trusted reputation. But it's their outstanding service and support that convinced us we made the right choice with Bonafide.
When businesses need security, they contact Bonafide Security Solutions. From locks and alarms to safes and surveillance, we do it all. We are Bonafide. We protect what you value. For your free security survey, call us today or visit bonafidesafe.com.
Spring is in the air, and PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend has everything you need, with fresh mulch arriving daily, from premium hardwood mulch to hemlock and pine bark to Enviro mulch in red, gold, chocolate brown, and black colors. PMF also has a large variety of decorative stone and granite, as well as field stone, topsoil, and compost. For all your landscaping needs, visit PMF Landscape Supply, 5470 River Road in West Bend. Call 262-338-8800 or visit pmflandscape.com. Friends of racing for many years. PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend.
Chimney Mechanics installs and services wood, natural gas, propane, pellet stoves, and chimneys. We service all of Wisconsin, the UP, and Northern Illinois. We repair all brands and all models of fireplaces, no matter where you bought it. We do custom chimney caps, liners, chimney fire repairs, water and stonework, water leak repairs, and replacement dampers. We do new construction and insurance work. No job is too big or too small. ChimneyMechanics.com. That's Chimney Mechanics with an X. Check us out on Facebook.
Racing returns to the Swinger Super Speedway this Sunday afternoon, April 27th, when the All-Star Challenge Series invades the world's fastest quarter-mile oval. It's the Jerry Bear Christian Memorial. See a 50-lap main event along with 5 door-slamming, fender-banging, action-packed divisions this Sunday afternoon, April 27th at 2 p.m. New family pack pricing. Gates open at noon, racing at 2 p.m. this Sunday afternoon, April 27th at the Swinger Super Speedway.
This is The Herd.
Wow, 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 wow.
With Colin Cowherd.
I think the way they treated him is Bush League. You either treat people right in life or you don't, even if they're leaving the company. Aaron Glenn right now is not a CEO. He doesn't know what he's doing, because that's not how you treat people. That's just not how you do it. And Aaron, you're in or you're out, bro.
This is The Herd. The Herd with Colin Cowherd. Weekdays at 11 on Fox Sports 920.
Yeah, it's never good when you have deaths to report, and we have a couple of them. Jeff Schwister passed away this week at the age of 62. He's Bill's son, Mike Schwister's brother. I didn't realize, because it must have been, well, it was before my time at Slinger Speedway, which was, some 40 years ago, that he raced at Slinger, which I didn't know about. So he was the first name that came up, and I went, wow, that's crazy. Then we hear Dr. Jerry Petty. He was no relation to the Petty family, the royalty, the NASCAR royalty family, but he was the go-to doctor for NASCAR for 50 years. Think about that. I mean, it's crazy. Those two, notable. But the one that caught me yesterday, Freddie Nielsen, passed away at the age of 90. If you don't know the name, he was a very prolific short-track car owner that had some absolutely spectacular drivers and success. Dave Watson drove for him in the 70s, which I didn't realize till I talked to Dave earlier this morning, but he won a bunch of races together. And then when I started in the sport, it was that 36 car, and it was very fun to watch Joe Shear driving for Freddie Nielsen. My God, what a team they made! And then, for one reason or another that I to this day don't really know, that relationship ended, and he hired Matt Kenseth, a young up-and-coming driver who had been driving his own equipment and then driving for Mike Butts for several races. He drove for Mike Butts pretty exclusively, I think. But, Dan, did he race the Butts car at Slinger? I know he did at Madison and Kaukauna.
Yeah, sometimes. I think that was after the Nielsen deal. I remember Matt, when they first won the Slinger Nationals in '94, that was in Nielsen's car. And I just remember the victory lane when they were spraying the champagne and being there and seeing that. That's a memory for me. And then the other one for Freddie Nielsen would be when Joe Shear won the ASA race at Milwaukee. I think it was 1993. I was helping out on the National Network broadcast, being a spotter in the camera stand, and everybody. Shear wasn't the guy that ran the full ASA series, so he was kind of not like an outsider, but everybody knew the regular ASA guys like Mike Eddy and Bob Seneca. The TV people, once something like that happens, like, oh, who's this guy? I'm like, well, Shear's a pretty big name. I remember having to tell him hey, this guy is no fluke. He's going to probably have a shot to win this thing, and then they kind of went and stopped him on that race.
That's pretty cool. And I don't really know when he ended his time as a car owner, but it must have been in the early 2000s somewhere, and I don't know who his last driver was. But either way, a very prolific. It was always rumored that he wore boots. A lot of guys wear boots all the time, but it was always rumored that he had a gun in his boot. And, that's what I remember about him, even though Rich Bickle told me yesterday it was more of a rumor than anything else. But whatever. I heard another story that he kept a gun in his air cleaner in his truck, too, for those, off shootouts that we might have here and there. We want to make sure you're prepared for it, I guess. But a real character. He owned Nielsen Motorsports, which was a snowmobile dealer in northern Illinois. Passed away yesterday at 90. A nice long life. If you'd like to participate in this program, we wouldn't mind you calling us at 414-421-7901. Dan, we're getting calls, people wanting to know if Slinger will be televised today online.
Yeah, there is no streaming platform today. They're changing companies, and there'll be one on the 18th. If we can put something together, maybe they'll put something out as a race to start. We're kind of working on that. But as far as a streaming platform right now, there's no official one for today. You have to come here and watch the race.
That's right, and it's a perfect day for it. Car count is good. I see Lowell Bennett has a late model he's going to race today. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, there's a couple guys in here. Lowell Bennett's here. Dennis Prunty has a late model. He showed up today. There's a black 42 out there. I don't know where that came from. I know he had a super late, but now he's got a late model too.
Nice.
There's a lot of cars here. Kendall Cryer I saw out there. Noah Eisenhower from the Dells. It's a really strong car count, and you should have to come out here because it's a great day to see it, and it's pretty decent racing tonight.
And it's the first of the All-Star Challenge, right?
Yeah, this is round one, and he drives a lot of cars for it. So what a way to kick off that season at Slinger. I think it's a pretty good deal.
Time trials get underway about noon, and the racing begins at 2 o'clock this afternoon, so plenty of time to get out there and enjoy yourself. The big news this week, and I almost hate to touch on it right before break time, but Rodney Childers got fired. There is no one in the sport that really exactly knows what happened except Rodney himself and the folks at Spire. It's being talked about over the garage area. What the hell happened there? Because if anybody was a hot property after getting let go from Harvick's team, and then ended up, he was a guy over there for the 4-car for several years and many races. And boy, I think about how Ed just loved Rodney Childers. They knew what he was doing. They moved him over to Spire. It was going to take the whole operation to the next level. And what we're hearing is that there was some sort of bad blood between himself and ownership. For success on the racetrack, you think you could get over this little pissing match, but apparently they couldn't do it. So we're glad you're tuned in. We'll talk a little more about that when we come back.
From racing engines to street engines, long blocks to turnkey packages, or complete custom engines, just ask and Wagner Automotive can fill your needs. All backed by many years of racing experience. These years of experience have provided reliability and performance that customers need to win races. Wagner's has been building championship-winning engines for top teams from NASCAR to short tracks in your backyard. This expertise has carried over to street engines they supply to top custom car builders. The Wagner Company, in the heart of Wisconsin, is outfitted with the state-of-the-art machinery necessary to design, manufacture, build, and test custom engines and their accessory parts. Dyno services are independently available for anyone needed to test their engine. Wagner's Company can also provide you or your company with production CNC machining or welding services. All your questions and requests are handled personally by Casey Wagner. Just give us a call at 920-394-3557 or visit our website at wagnerautomotive.com.
Miller Sales and Service of Random Lake is where to go for a trailer, no matter what you're hauling. Tom and Jerry Miller have been selling trailers from B&B, Trophy, and Bravo for over 50 years. Quality and integrity is what put them on the map on the corner of 57 and K since 1939. Home of the number 89 dirt and asphalt cars of Brad Miller. That's Miller Sales and Service. It's where to go for a trailer, just 20 minutes north of Milwaukee. Call them 920-994-4358.
As a growing manufacturing company, we needed security solutions. We chose Bonafide because of the services they offer, pricing, and trusted reputation. But it's their outstanding service and support that convinced us we made the right choice with Bonafide.
When businesses need security, they contact Bonafide Security Solutions. From locks and alarms to safes and surveillance, we do it all. We are Bonafide. We protect what you value. For your free security survey, call us today or visit bonafidesafe.com.
This Sunday afternoon, April 27th at the Slinger Superspeedway, see the All-Star Challenge Series $2,500 to win main event on the famed High Bank. Gates open at noon, racing at 2 p.m. Check us out at SlingerSuperspeedway.com.
The Doug Gottlieb Show.
Okay, let's start with this. Finally nailed it, Gottlieb. I do feel like people wanted Rory to win. He hadn't reached like Phil level of popularity. Then he misses a putt on 18. Then the second time around on 18, he hits a birdie. Like, is he now clutch? I'm just struggling with what is clutch and what is not clutch.
The Doug Gottlieb Show. The Doug Gottlieb Show at 2 on Fox Sports 920.
Welcome back to LTN. We have an anonymous caller from Burlington, so I'm going to assume it's Tony Romo. Hello, caller.
No, it is not Tony Romo.
Oh, all right. Welcome to the program.
Well, I'm a great fan of Freddie Nielsen and the number A3 modified, not the number 36 late model.
Johnny Reimer?
Johnny Reimer won more races than the other guy ever thought about winning.
So he raced at Hales Corners then, huh?
Johnny Reimer?
Freddie Nielsen and Johnny Reimer.
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
He raced the whole MSC circuit except for Slinger because he was champion down at Wilmont.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah, see, there's a lot I didn't know about Freddie's past, but he started out with the modifieds or what?
Freddie Nielsen, yes.
Okay. And then he decided to go pavement racing at one time, and I don't know this, so I'm asking, did Johnny Reimer race with him on pavement or no?
No, dirt.
Oh, dirt only, all right. So who was his first pavement driver? Was it Dave Watson?
In USAC, yes.
Okay, all right, interesting. Well, thank you very much for adding to that. I feel like I should have known more about Freddie because I knew him, but I didn't ever ask about his history. So
I think his best driver he ever had was Johnny Reimer.
There you go, and he's had some good ones. Well, thank you for the call, Mr. Anonymous.
Yep.
Okay.
Bye.
And if anybody else wants to call the program, of course, 414-421 7901. We were talking about Rodney Childers, who Ed used to call Childress back in the day. You wonder sometimes how something that is supposed to have been with so much promise can suddenly go away. And during the week, I saw the words team dynamic written down. It has to do with that and how they got along and all that other sort of thing. And maybe the team dynamic just wasn't as good as we would have hoped.
Well, I think a lot of it comes down to just relationships with drivers and drivers being different. I mean, you think of a great crew chief. Childers is a great crew chief. He's got a great track record. You can prove it. He won a bunch with Kevin Harvick. Remember when Waddell Wilson went with Darrell Waltrip back in the late 80s? That was supposed to be a super team, and that just didn't pan out like everybody thought it would. Dale Inman didn't have as much success with Terry Labonte as he did with Richard Petty. I think a lot of it is just driver crew chief combination together, and that relationship plays so much into it that you just got to find the right mix, and there probably wasn't the right mix there.
Interesting. Apparently, it's the buzz in the garage. Everybody talking and nobody really coming up with very big answers. Apparently, there's this rumor that he didn't get along with Spire execs, and there's another rumor that he will be hired by Kevin Harvick Incorporated, KHI, to help one of their development drivers. PJ, maybe they have one guy in mind.
I'm thinking Keelan Harvick, hands down. I mean, the kid already ran his first pro late model race, and he is barely a teenager. If even, I think, is he 12? I think he's 12.
I think that's the number, yeah.
Yeah, so he hasn't even become a teenager, but I could certainly see Kevin wanting to have Rodney be that driver coach for him, because sometimes, even though Kevin could probably do it, a kid will listen more to somebody other than their parent, right? So I can see Kevin wanting to have someone that he respects be that guiding voice for his son.
It makes a lot of sense, and also it would take... I mean, there is a certain amount of pressure that comes with being a crew chief in NASCAR. And, Justin Haley wasn't winning races. Yes, he had a couple of good runs this year, but for the most part, they probably said, okay, look, we've the management, this is the Spire management talking. We have spent enough money and brought in the right people where we should be winning or at least running up front consistently, and we're not doing that. Just exactly what is the problem. Now, when you deal with that kind of pressure, some people are good at it and some people are not. And perhaps it's, that extra pressure is not exactly what Childers needed. And the fact that he could work with Kevin Harvick and at a very relaxed pace, albeit probably a lot less money.
Well, and it's personalities. I mean, it's a big piece of it. I don't think that Justin Haley wasn't even involved in any of the discussions. He didn't find out until after the fact.
How about
that? It's just, I think it's just a way of approaching things is very different between Rodney Childers and the Spire group. And I said this earlier that there's my stylist, my hairstylist, actually has a sign up on her mirror that says, I'm a hairstylist. I'm a beautician, not a magician. And I think that still applies to every job. I mean, you're a crew chief. You're not a magician, right? I mean, if you don't have all the right pieces in place and people aren't willing to take the input and use it, your hands are tied. So I think it's probably a good thing that Rodney's moving on to something else.
Chemistry.
Yes.
If the chemistry isn't right, you have to make a move, and it's a lot easier firing a crew chief than it is to fire the driver. Let's find something other than the driver to blame on our lack of performance. So that's pretty much what it is. We do have a caller, Ron out in New Berlin on the phone. Hi, Ron.
Yeah, I got something to complain about.
Oh, boy.
The announcers yesterday, they just never shut up. My closed caption can't even keep up with it. Anybody agree with me?
The announcers yesterday couldn't shut up. He said the closed caption couldn't keep up.
Oh, yeah, I heard that. Well,
I think that's kind of a broadcast thing. some people in broadcasting understand that there is a time and a place for what we call dead air. It's okay. Other people get so nervous that they just feel the need to fill every single space with something. And it's unfortunate when they do talk too much like that.
Interesting. You know, you don't know.
The announcers I do like is the truck race when they have Kevin, Brad, and Joey. Those guys are very informative. Those guys I could listen to, but other guys, closed caption, if anything.
Yeah, no kidding. I agree to you. It's the same thing, that chemistry thing we were just talking about.
Yeah.
It's the same. What blows me away is when I watch social media and there are people, there was a poll, I think Kenny Wallace put a poll up the other day about who's the best announcing team on television, and the poll said NBC. You've got to be kidding me. Fox is so far and away better than any other network, any other group that there is, in my opinion, that I don't even know how you could even guess that. But we appreciate the call, and we'll be back. Hang in there.
Be at the Fair Park in Plymouth this Saturday night for an action-packed night of racing. Qualifying at 4:30 with racing to follow. This week features the Super 6 late models making their first appearance of the season. The winged Plymouth Dirt Track Racing MSA Sprint Cars being joined by the B-Mods and Grand Nationals. Great food in the covered grandstand for added comfort. That's Saturday night at the Fair Park in Plymouth. Mark your calendar for May 17th for the IRA Sprint Cars. We'll see you there.
Miller Sales and Service of Random Lake is where to go for a trailer, no matter what you're hauling. Tom and Jerry Miller have been selling trailers from B&B, Trophy, and Bravo for over 50 years. Quality and integrity is what put them on the map on the corner of 57 and K since 1939. Home of the number 89 dirt and asphalt cars of Brad Miller. That's Miller Sales and Service. It's where to go for a trailer, just 20 minutes north of Milwaukee. Call them 920-994-4358.
Spring is in the air, and PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend has everything you need, with fresh mulch arriving daily, from premium hardwood mulch to hemlock and pine bark to Enviro mulch in red, gold, chocolate brown, and black colors. PMF also has a large variety of decorative stone and granite, as well as field stone, topsoil, and compost. For all your landscaping needs, visit PMF Landscape Supply, 5470 River Road in West Bend. Call 262-338-8800 or visit pmflandscape.com. Friends of racing for many years, PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend.
Chimney Mechanics installs and services wood, natural gas, propane, pellet stoves, and chimneys. We service all of Wisconsin, the UP, and Northern Illinois. We repair all brands and all models of fireplaces, no matter where you bought it. We do custom chimney caps, liners, chimney fire repairs, water and stonework, water leak repairs, and replacement dampers. We do new construction and insurance work. No job is too big or too small. ChimneyMechanics.com. That's Chimney Mechanics with an X. Check us out on Facebook.
Right now, the Dan Patrick Show.
Dan Patrick.
He was talking about Alex Ovechkin's scoring record being more impressive than LeBron's all-time record in scoring and Barry Bonds' home run records. Instead of celebrating Ovechkin, then you have to bring down Barry Bonds or LeBron. It's just a great achievement.
The Dan Patrick Show.
Dan and the Danettes and you.
The Dan Patrick Show. Weekdays at 8 a.m. on Fox Sports 920.
Yeah, we're jumping right into the short track racing season. The Sheboygan County Fairgrounds actually opened yesterday. Our friend Bill Weinog is here, and it's a kind of a hit and miss with the weather this time of year, isn't it, Bill?
Yeah, I was pretty nervous last night going in with the cold, and it's been wet all week, and what are we going to have? And we had a really good crowd that ate and drank a lot, so it was well worth not canceling and made it worthwhile having.
Yeah, an exciting season coming up this year, Bill, and a smorgasbord of cars again this year at Plymouth. Looking at your schedule, of course, the big event this year that everybody's been talking about and we've been waiting for over 20 years is the return of the World of Outlaw Sprint Cars on June 6th. How are ticket sales going on that, and how excited are you for that?
Well, it's great to have these guys back after 20 years of not having them. Ticket sales have been going really, really well. From the date we announced it, I think it was like 500 or something like that the first couple of weeks, and we've at least tripled that now. So should be a great night of racing with them, and with the 3 nights and the high limits off that weekend, I expect a lot of those high limits guys to stick around and race with us too.
Yeah, and then looking at your schedule, late models this year, 9 different nights. You're going to have late models at Plymouth. You have the Super 6 Series, which I see they must have built in a rain day because there are actually 7 races. And then the 2 Dirt Kings events at the end of the year. Good to see some late models back there again. People love those. Yeah. It got to be it was hard with having them every week. And those guys like to tour and everything, and the Dirt Kings kind of affected us. So going to the 7 nights of the late models has really helped out. It's also opened us up to having other classes in with the A-mods are coming in, the street stocks. Last night we had the legends and a variety of different things, which brings a whole new group of people out to the track and a whole different audience. So it's worked out really well for us. Yeah, I saw that on the schedule. On Saturday night, August 16th, which is an off night for 141, you're bringing the A-mods in, and it's been, they're there for the Watson race, but to have them on a night when there really isn't anything else going on, that should be pretty cool. Yeah, looking forward to that. I believe last year we had them, and it was a rain-out night, so have them back this year, and it'll be interesting. The street stock guys, they've been at us for a couple of years now of, hey, we need to be there every week, and it's hard to run 5 classes every night, so we'll mix them in as much as we can. Another cool thing this year is Brad Miller putting on the Dirt Devil Grand National Tour. I saw your car count last night for Grand Nationals was really, really good, and that wasn't a Dirt Devil night, so expecting a lot of those cars back this year. Yeah, we did a couple shows over the off season, and they had a lot of good feedback from Beaver Dam drivers coming over. 141 is no longer running the Grand Nationals on Saturdays, so that opened it up, and I think we had 25, 26 of them last night. Unfortunately, Justin Miller totaled one out with hitting the wall on the front straightaway, so we'll see how quick they can get a car put back together. But, it should be a great series, and thanks to Brad for putting that whole Dirt Devil thing together. It's really going to help us out, too. Another big thing that Plymouth is noted for is their food. If you go to a racetrack, I've been to racetracks all over the country, and there's nobody that does food as good as Plymouth. Steak sandwich thing they have going, made to order there, all that stuff is back again for this year? Yep, everything's back. We've expanded a few things here and there. Food prices, I think the steak sandwiches went up a whopping quarter this year, but everything else stayed the same. So I always say come hungry when you're coming to Plymouth, because we'll feed you, and if you can find something good by us, you're a very distinctive kind of food critique.
They had those steak sandwiches. They're fantastic, no doubt. So what time would somebody want to go up to Plymouth and watch the whole show? What time should they get there, and what time you start racing?
Right now, for the month of May until I think the 31st, we're going to go back to regular time, but we're starting an hour earlier. So gates open at 4. On-track stuff will happen at 4:30, and then the racing will start around 5 o'clock. So be there early, get your food, get your seat, and enjoy a great night.
Best of luck to you this year, my friend.
We appreciate that. And one other thing we have going is the Road America Challenge IndyCar weekend, where the IRA will be in town, and co-promoting with Road America, and that has worked out good the past few years. So we're going to keep it rolling on IndyCar this year.
Well, throw a couple of names out there for us, would you, Bill?
What's that?
Throw a couple of names out there we might see.
Well, supposedly for the Outlaws, Casey Kane will be in town. Rico has come in. All the standard World Outlaw guys will be here. The Road America Challenge, I've heard interest from a couple of IndyCar guys of jumping over and hopping in a sprint car that night. You have like Ferrucci has raced and Catherine Legg. They've both raced midgets now. So we'll see. Connor Daly is a possibility. It'd be great to see him in a sprint car by us.
That's fantastic. Bill Weinog, PR guy up at Sheboygan County Fairgrounds in Plymouth. Thanks for being on. Good. Best of luck to you this season, my friend.
All right. Thanks a lot, guys, and appreciate you having me on.
All right, we'll be back.
Racing returns to MIS Sunday afternoon, May 4th for the Joe Shear Classic 200, presented by Toyota. See the stars and cars of the ASA Midwest Tour, plus Midwest Trucks, and welcome back NASCAR legend Mark Martin. Advanced discount tickets at MISRacing.com. The ASA Midwest Tour, Midwest Trucks, UW Marching Band, plus Mark Martin autographs, and the Joe Shear Classic 200, presented by Toyota. It's the biggest race of the year. Sunday afternoon, May 4th at 2 p.m. Madison International Speedway. Don't miss it.
As a growing manufacturing company, we needed security solutions. We chose Bonafide because of the services they offer, pricing, and trusted reputation. But it's their outstanding service and support that convinced us we made the right choice with Bonafide.
When businesses need security, they contact Bonafide Security Solutions. From locks and alarms to safes and surveillance, we do it all. We are Bonafide. We protect what you value. For your free security survey, call us today or visit bonafidesafe.com.
Spring is in the air, and PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend has everything you need, with fresh mulch arriving daily, from premium hardwood mulch to hemlock and pine bark to Enviro mulch in red, gold, chocolate brown, and black colors. PMF also has a large variety of decorative stone and granite, as well as field stone, topsoil, and compost. For all your landscaping needs, visit PMF Landscape Supply, 5470 River Road in West Bend. Call 262-338-8800 or visit pmflandscape.com. Friends of racing for many years, PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend.
Celebrate 70 years of thrills at Road America this spring and summer. Experience unforgettable moments on our legendary 4-mile track. From the Spring Vintage Weekend, May 16th through the 18th, to the adrenaline-packed Moto America Superbikes and Vintage Moto Fest, May 30th through June 1st, there's excitement for everyone. Join us for the iconic IndyCar Expel Grand Prix presented by AMR, June 19th through the 22nd. Get more confidence on the roads with our motorcycle and driving schools, or tackle the off-road experience. Visit roadamerica.com for tickets and details.
This is The Herd.
Wow, 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 wow.
With Colin Cowherd.
Resiliency is the key to success in life because it's really hard or everybody would be successful. He is a wizard. He can make shots nobody else can. He can buckle under pressure. As I watched yesterday, this was not Rory against Justin Rose. It was Rory McIlroy against Rory McIlroy.
This is The Herd. The Herd with Colin Cowherd. Weekdays at 11 on Fox Sports 920.
And now the LTN Hour presents Dirt on the Dirt with Brian Schmidt.
We're kicking into high gear in the dirt track racing across the country. Friday night, we had a lot of rain in Wisconsin. That wiped out all the racing and the tracks that were supposed to open up around the area here. But Sapulpa, Oklahoma ran Friday night at the Creek County Speedway for the Power Eye Wing Sprint Cars. Tanner Thorson was your winner. Jacksonville, Illinois, the World of Outlaw NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Series. Kyle Larson dropped in, and Kyle Larson took their money, grabbing the win on that race. He had to work for that one. If the box score will show a 4-second win, but if you watched it, there was a lot of lap traffic and a lot of dicing he had to do to get that win. And he was pretty thrilled. You don't see him get overly excited about winning anymore. He was pretty excited after winning that one Friday night. Georgetown, Delaware, the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series, $20,000 to win. Devin Moran picked up the win there. Last night, Plymouth opened up their track, as we just talked to Bill Weinog. And the winners in the MSA 360 Sprints, Ben Schmidt. Grand Nationals went to Jake Richards, and the Legends went to Adam Zellmer. 141 Speedway at Francis Crick. They had another whopping 206 cars in 5 divisions up there. It's just every week. It's incredible. The IMCA Modifieds, Todd Dart was your winner, and the IMCA Stock Cars was Cole Sarneski. Over at New Richmond, Wisconsin, Cedar Lake Speedway, in the late models, it's Chad Mater. Modifieds, Dylan Gettle, and the USRA Limited Lates went to Corey Rissy. Rice Lake opened up their season last night in the Wissota Modifieds. Blake Adams was your winner. I looked him up a little bit. He's from Cameron. I think he's the son of Buzzy Adams, who we always mention winning all the time up here. So, like father, like son, it looks like there. I was at Beaver Dam last night for the Glenn Hefner Memorial for the IRA Sprint Cars. Jake Newman was your winner. That was an interesting race. I mean, you want to talk about dicing in sprint car racing. They went 30 laps after an early caution. They went nonstop through there, and it was like... That was jet fighters in the gymnasium. Dan, you were watching that with me. That was some pretty breathtaking racing that was going on there, especially with Travis Aarons.
That was, and especially when the leaders caught traffic. I mean, they're in lap traffic trying to figure out where they're going to go and then have to try to take the lead with Aarons and Newman. They a couple times I was up on the edge of my seat thinking they ain't going to make this, and they pulled it off and had a pretty good deal.
And afterwards, I was down in Victory Lane talking with Travis Aarons. He's from Sheboygan here, so I know him real well. And I shook his hand, and I said, boy, you scared the heck out of me. You guys are nuts. And he just has a huge smile. He goes, that was fun. I'm like, wow. The definition of fun and others are two different things, I guess. That was something else. Badger Midgets, Parker Jones was your winner in the Dirt King Late Model Series, went to Nick Ann Valink. Peoria, Illinois last night, the Mars Dirt Car Series, $5,098 to win. Ryan Unsicker was your winner. Kokomo, Indiana for the USAC National Sprint Cars. Jacob Denny was your winner. Knoxville, Iowa for the 410 Sprints. Rico Abreu was your winner. In the 360s, it was Aaron Reitzel. Fremont, Ohio, the All-Star Circuit of Champions is back in action this year after taking a year off. Caleb Henry was your winner. Hobstadt, Indiana, the Tri-State Speedway for the World of Outlaw NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Series. Sheldon Houdenschile got the win. Hagerstown, Maryland, the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series, $25,000 to win. That went to Ricky Thornton Jr. And finally, the big money race of the weekend was in Talladega, Alabama. It was supposed to be a 2-day show for the World of Outlaws. Storms knocked them out Friday night, so they only ran last night for the Alabama Gang 100, $50,000 to win, and Bobby Pierce took home the money there. That is everything for this week.
On to the asphalt side of things. We already kind of touched on the action at Talladega. The ARCA winner was Lawless Allen, and the Xfinity winner was Austin Hill in the photo finish freeze frame scoring loop
declared
termination. Yes. But we'll go on to the short tracks then. Grundy County Speedway roaring into action. Big 8 style late models. Your winner was Michael Bilderback. Just FYI, John Reynolds Jr. was involved in a nasty wreck in that one. I believe I heard he was okay after that.
Yeah, he's here at Slinger as a different car. The white car's here. So.
Wow, impressive. Glad to hear that. Jefferson Speedway had their opener last night. Late model winner was, and fast time, Jason Erickson in a Toby car. Five Flag Speedway had the pro late models in action last night for race number 1 in their series. Jake Finch was the winner. The ZMAX Cars Tour last night as well. The pro late model 250 winner was Luke Baldwin. The late model stock car 250 winner was Jared Fryer. Also of note, the World Racing League was at Road America. Josh Balicki picked up that win yesterday, and he'll be winning again today, or we're hoping to win again today. And then just some upcoming notes. ASA Midwest Tour opener will be next Sunday with the Joe Shear Classic at Madison International Speedway. Mark Martin will be there as well, not to race, but to be signing autographs and just kind of rubbing elbows with everybody. And then, of course, the season opener for Slinger is tonight. Ooh. The Jerry Bear Prishkin Memorial and the All-Star Challenge Series with $2,500 to win. That'll be happening tonight. Qualifying at noon, racing at 2, and Dan Margetta is out there just kind of watching the practice.
Yeah, practice is going pretty well. They've got a lot of cars here. Right now the sportsman cars are on the track, but late model practice is pretty clean. They had one minor incident. Zach Prunty spun after getting into a little bit with the 3-car Hermatka, but I think that was fluid on the racetrack. They cleaned it up. No harm, no foul, no damage. We're ready to roll, and weather's going to be great, so come on out.
Pretty great here in race cars out there at this time of year. When we're here, we're finally ready for it, right?
Oh, yeah, and that's always this is the official start of it's spring, but it's the official start of summer for me. This is time to open up the summer home on top of the roof and spend every Sunday here watching the race. It's nothing better.
I had a note from our friend Gwen Schill who let Matt know that Whitey Harris was another driver for Freddie Nielsen over the years. So between Johnny Reimer and Whitey Harris, he had a couple of pretty prolific modified drivers driving for him. The one thing we can say about Freddie Nielsen, he always had great drivers and a lot of success, a lot of winning going on there. So that's pretty cool stuff for sure. Also, we mentioned about Childers getting fired from over there at the 7-car, the Spire 7-car. Justin Haley failed the pre-race inspection twice, which means the car chief was ejected. They lost their pit stall selection. These are all kind of important things at Talladega. Of course, one of those things is enough to make you lose the race. What's that, Dan?
No, but a lot of things going on there with that team. You think about it. Okay, the Childress left. The thing happened at the Tech today with the car chief. The other car chief before went to the 54 car a week ago, and their whole pit crew went to the 5 team. So there's a whole bunch of things going on there. In that
a lot of turnover. Everybody but the driver, right?
Seems like it.
Yeah, well, it's somebody else's fault, whatever it is. I never saw the great attraction. Apparently I just don't know what I'm watching. Justin Haley is so highly regarded that it makes me wonder.
Well, I think it was because he drove that Rick Ware car last year, that 51 car, and actually his finishes were a lot better than what that car was supposed to be capable of. I mean, he took some pretty mediocre equipment and had some pretty decent finishes with it. I think that's what a lot of people saw, and that's kind of what had him high on him.
There you go. We're going to sneak away and be back.
Racing returns to MIS Sunday afternoon, May 4th for the Joe Shear Classic 200, presented by Toyota. See the stars and cars of the ASA Midwest Tour, plus Midwest Trucks, and welcome back NASCAR legend Mark Martin. Advance discount tickets at MISRacing.com. The ASA Midwest Tour, Midwest Trucks, UW Marching Band, plus Mark Martin autographs, and the Joe Shear Classic 200, presented by Toyota. It's the biggest race of the year. Sunday afternoon, May 4th at 2 p.m. Madison International Speedway. Don't miss it.
Miller Sales and Service of Random Lake is where to go for a trailer no matter what you're hauling. Tom and Jerry Miller have been selling trailers from B&B, Trophy, and Bravo for over 50 years. Quality and integrity is what put them on the map on the corner of 57 and K since 1939. Home of the number 89 dirt and asphalt cars of Brad Miller. That's Miller Sales and Service. It's where to go for a trailer just 20 minutes north of Milwaukee. Call them 920-994-4358.
From racing engines to street engines, long blocks to turnkey packages, or complete custom engines, just ask and Wagner Automotive can fill your needs. All backed by many years of racing experience. These years of experience have provided reliability and performance that customers need to win races. Wagner's has been building championship winning engines for top teams from NASCAR to short tracks in your backyard. This expertise has carried over to street engines they supply to top custom car builders. The Wagner Company, in the heart of Wisconsin, is outfitted with the state-of-the-art machinery necessary to design, manufacture, build, and test custom engines and their accessory parts. Dyno services are independently available for anyone needed to test their engine. Wagner's Company can also provide you or your company with production CNC machining or welding services. All your questions and requests are handled personally by Casey Wagner. Just give us a call at 920-394-3557 or visit our website at WagnerAutomotive.com.
Celebrate 70 years of thrills at Road America this spring and summer. Experience unforgettable moments on our legendary 4-mile track. From the Spring Vintage Weekend, May 16th through the 18th, to the adrenaline-packed Moto America Superbikes and Vintage Moto Fest, May 30th through June 1st, there's excitement for everyone. Join us for the iconic IndyCar Expel Grand Prix, presented by AMR, June 19th through the 22nd. Get more confidence on the roads with our motorcycle and driving schools, or tackle the off-road experience. Visit roadamerica.com for tickets and details.
Right now, the Dan Patrick Show.
Dan Patrick.
He was talking about Alex Ovechkin's scoring record being more impressive than LeBron's all-time record in scoring and Barry Bonds' home run records. Instead of celebrating Ovechkin, then you have to bring down Barry Bonds or LeBron. It's just a great achievement.
The Dan Patrick Show.
Dan and the Danettes and you.
The Dan Patrick Show. Weekdays at 8 a.m. on Fox Sports 920.
And welcome back. Nice of you to join us here Sunday morning. Be a great day to go out to the racetrack for sure. As a matter of fact, let's go ahead and make our picks today just for fun. At Talladega, I already mentioned I thought it was going to be Kyle Busch. He cannot go the rest of his career without winning. I'm sorry. And for Slinger, and remember, if there's any picks that that I make my team here, you guys can agree with me and tell me just how brilliant I really am. But I think it's going to be Zach Riddle at Slinger today. In that, by the way, knowing there's some pretty damn good guys that are going to be racing in the late models. Let's see, Brian?
I'm going with Joey Logano today at Talladega.
Okay, Slinger?
I don't know much about
Didn't think about it. All right.
Jesse Berhagen, maybe.
Okay, that's a good pick. All right, Dano.
All right, I'm going to go for Talladega. See, the guy crashes his Indy car, wins in a sprint car. It's in his head. He can't run in a super speedway, everybody says, but he breaks that streak today, Kyle Larson.
Oh, okay. Slinger?
I'm going to go with the black 42 of Dennis Prunty.
All right. Well, if anybody knows this way around Slinger, it's going to be that guy. All right, PJ.
Well, I'm going to go with Ryan Blaney for Talladega. And I'm just not really sure about Slinger, but what the heck. I'm going to throw Ryan Gutnick out there.
Ah, interesting. He gets around Slinger as good as anybody does, that's for sure. All right, very good. There's a couple of TV shows that are coming soon to a streaming device near you. Netflix has this Full Speed. Now, I've never seen that. Is that the one, PJ, that you and I found ourselves on by accident a couple of years ago?
Netflix?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you and I both have T-Mobile and they give it to you for free. So, yeah, we both have...
No, I meant we were in the actual, the filming of that thing.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Yeah. So that's good. Now, that starts up in May. And, Brian, Prime Network has got a pretty good one coming here.
Yeah, I don't know a whole lot of the details about that one. I know about the one that's going to be on Netflix. They talked about, but Prime is starting something up as well that you're going to be able to see as the season goes on. So Prime is going to, starting with the Coke 600, they will be doing the 6 races for...
And they have an Earnhardt documentary series coming up. That starts on May 22nd. That'll be on Prime. The one on Netflix is the one that follows the last so many races of last year, kind of a reality type show, kind of based after that Formula One Netflix series. That's one on Netflix. The one on Prime is the one on Earnhardt, which looks really good. It looks like a lot of footage that people haven't seen, like some home video footage and stuff like that. So it looks pretty cool.
Interesting stuff. Hey, when you were picking Kyle Larson a couple of minutes ago, you mentioned briefly that Kyle Larson crashed this week. He's had quite a week, hasn't he? Think of the versatility of that guy. In his Indy car, he crashed in a practice at Indianapolis. I did not see the crash. How bad was it?
Well, bad enough to hit the car. He kind of went wide off the corner and pancaked the wall, and of course that just destroyed that side of the car. Came down across the track, went back across the speedway, wrecked the car, but he hit it flush enough to not spectacularly crash and get hurt. So enough to really damage the car. But right after that, Takuma Sato, who's a 2-time Indy 500 winner and a really good guy at Indianapolis, just crashed and destroyed his car. He backed his car in and really wrecked that thing about the same spot. So,
boy, well, and imagine here's Larson crashing an Indy car, kicking everybody's behind in a sprint car. It was a sprint car, Brian, right?
Yep, World of Outlaws. Yep.
Oh my God, that's and oh, by the way, he's racing at Talladega today. Talk about versatility. Yeah, I can't believe that people actually jump on a bandwagon that gives him a bunch of BS about crashing at Indianapolis. It's not like he's the only guy that scrapes the wall in practice at Indianapolis.
Well, I think
do it in April and not May.
Yeah, and that all comes from everybody says he's the greatest driver. There were some comments about comparing him to Max Verstappen in Formula One, and I think he had alluded to that maybe he thought he was better than Max Verstappen on an oval. So a lot of that's where that comes up. When something happens that doesn't go his way, it gets a lot of attention. Just like when he talked to Kevin Harvick, says, I run the Xfinity races so I can stop the field or something like that.
As far as versatility, Max Verstappen wouldn't do squat in any car other than a Formula car or maybe an Indy car. But the fact of the matter is, look at the diversity in rides that Kyle Larson. It's absolutely spectacular. We're really happy you joined us today as we're getting ready to race at Talladega. Don't forget the green is at 2:20. Unless you feel like going to watch real racing, right there sitting in the stands on a perfect day at Slinger Speedway. Racing gets underway at 2 o'clock for that one. And let's fill the place up and welcome in the Dasso era at Slinger Speedway. For all of us involved with the program, real race cars have doors, even if they do climb in through the windows. Let's Talk NASCAR is produced and directed by Dangerous Dan Margetta. Our engineer is Matt Losey. For all of us involved with the program, we appreciate you being here, and we'll see you next week, everybody.
This program has come to you live from multiple locations. Any and all comments expressed on this show do not necessarily express the opinions of the station, its employees, or advertisers. Your comments are always welcome at mail@ltnradionetwork.com. Find us at facebook.com/LTN Radio Network. And thank you for your support since 1985. Tune in again next Sunday morning at 10 a.m. Central Time for the LTN Hour on the LTN Radio Network.